May I come?
May I come in, sir? Good morning, sir. Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Amit. Sit down. Please have a seat. Your name is Talwar Amit Anand.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, I'm enough comfortable.
Talwar Amit Anand, please tell us something about yourself.
My name is Amit Anand Talwar and I'm from Mumbai. Completed my BE from Dr. 𝐂𝐤𝐴 College of Engineering in Sangli in the year 2016. And since then, I've been working in a private firm which used to take railway contract till 2019. And from 2020 onwards, I started my preparation for engineering services, which was my long-awaited dream, but I could not pursue. But this way, I got the opportunity, and I wanted to prepare for engineering service. And currently, I'm doing this.
So you have been preparing since 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any attempt before?
In the year 2020, I took an attempt, but could not qualify for prelims. And then 2022 again, cleared prelims, but could not pass mains. And this is 2023.
Tell me, what did you learn from the failure in your first attempt?
Ma'am, from the failure of my first attempt, I came to know that whatever I study, I need to be very thorough about it regarding the concepts and regarding the deep meaning of what are the applications and why it is needed to be prepared. Because everything in this world, I believe, has an application.
Okay. Amit, you live in Mumbai suburban.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the suburban?
Mumbai is actually divided into two parts. One is the Mumbai city, which is a mainland city, which was originally formed. Earlier people came and made an establishment over there, and then when the city starts spreading its wing, it developed satellite cities which converted into Mumbai suburbans, and then New Mumbai, and then Thane. So Mumbai suburb is a part of Mumbai city only, Mumbai district only, but it is an extension of Mumbai city.
Are there any other cities in India that are called as suburban?
No, ma'am, I'm not aware.
It's all right. Amit, I see you have interest in watching web series.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is the latest web series that you watched?
Hunt for Veerappan, available on Netflix, that I watched.
Okay. Fortunately, I also watched that series. So, do you support what Veerappan did?
Ma'am, I believe my tears for Veerappan are the same for those who were killed by him. Of course, I believe that Veerappan has been played by his own situation, but earlier he started, if I came to know about his history, so earlier he started as
are you suggesting it is okay to take law in your hands
no, madam,
if you feel that law is being unjust to you?
Law stands above all, I believe. Law is the ultimate thing that keeps us as a society and keeps us human, a social element. So I don't find Veerappan's idea quite justifying.
Okay. Amit, if we have to talk about 10 marvels, architectural marvels of India.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you think of any that you will include in these 10? Civil engineering marvels?
Yes, ma'am. One is a CSE station which I have closely seen, which is the Victoria Terminal station built by the Britishers. I don't remember the year exactly, but it is an architectural delight to watch.
What about Bandra Worli Sea Link?
Yes, ma'am. Bandra Worli Sea Link is also, I believe, is an architectural marvel since the most of the construction has been taking place with the use of PSE members. So longer spans have now been possible. The Bandra Worli Sea Link is composed of three parts: the central span and the two either end two spans are provided. So it has beautifully cable. It has been provided with a beautifully cable state support.
Have you heard about twin tunnels that are being made in Maharashtra?
Yes, ma'am. I think it is regarding the coastal road development, which is.
What is so unique about it? Explain to me like a layman.
Twin tunnel for a layman, which use or a Mumbaikar, which usually commutes to different parts of the city. Twin tunnel, I believe, is a very ambitious project because it is the first time we will be constructing underwater tunnel, and that will connect Worli and Kandivali and reduce the usual crowd that we have to face in Mumbai locals, which is a very can be a good alternative to transportation in Mumbai. Transportation in Mumbai is a big problem because most of the people are only dependent on the locals. Now, although metro has been a solution, but metro is not cheaply available to most of the people. So I believe.
Okay, my last question to you would be, tell me, why should we select you?
I'm a good learner. I learn from my mistakes. I did plenty of mistakes. I will never call myself as a perfect candidate, but I know I'm a perfect learner. I can, if I fail this time also, I'll know.
Give me an example to support this opinion of yours.
Ma'am, earlier when I was working in a private firm, I never thought that I'll be able to give engineering service examination. And when my friend told me that you should prepare for it, I thought that it is not my cup of tea and I'll never be able to do this. But when I started in the year 2020 and failed the prelims, I thought I came to know that it is something which is achievable to me. I can make it if I work hard, if I learn things in a quicker way.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now in the service?
10 years from now in the service?
Yes, let's say you're selected today.
I'll be doing a respectable job. I'll be a man of virtue, I'll say.
All right, over to you, sir.
Amit, you have worked in a company which used to take contracts of railway, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the difference between broad gauge, narrow gauge and meter gauge?
So broad gauge has a gauge of 1667 mm. Meter gauge is having 1000 mm and narrow gauge is having 760 mm. Nowadays there is also standard gauge available, which is being used by metro constructions and high speed line, which is 1436 mm.
Why metro people are not going for narrow gauge, meter gauge or your broad gauge?
Sir, actually most of the metro constructions are underground constructions, or either they are elevated construction. So at grade constructions are very less. So that means there is limited availability of the land. Moreover, the metro usually carried a very less population as compared to the railway. The railway are generally crowded and stability is a greater concern for railway. Broader gauge prevents the overturning of the railway while its movement, whether it is moving on a straight track or negotiating a curve. So I think this might be the reason.
They might have gone for narrow gauge also?
Narrow gauge reduces the stability, and that might cause overturning because there are some areas where the metro have to take sharp curve and the centrifugal force will play its role.
Okay, fine. Let us keep it this way. Metros are using narrow gauge?
No, sir, standard gauge.
Let us assume that they are using narrow gauge and they have to take a sharp turn. What preventive measures they can take to avoid overturning?
Super elevation, sir. In the terms of metro, I'll say cant should be provided, which is the inclination with the horizontal that will be able to balance the overturning moment.
Actually, which force is causing the overturning moment?
Centrifugal force, sir.
Centrifugal force or centripetal force?
No, so centripetal force is actually acting in the radially inward direction, whereas centrifugal force act in the radially outward direction. So overturning is basically caused due to overturning is caused due to outward derailment of the metro. So centrifugal force plays a role.
Which is the primary force in this and the pseudo force in this?
Sir, centripetal force is a primary force, and I guess pseudo force, maybe I'm wrong, but centrifugal force is a pseudo force, I believe.
As you have told that to prevent overturning, we provide super elevation.
Yes, sir.
But is there a maximum limit of super elevation?
Yes, sir, there is a maximum limit to super elevation and cant deficiency as well, given by the railway board.
What is that maximum value?
Sir, I don't actually remember, but I can make a guess if you wish. So, I think for broad gauge it is 18.6 centimeter, and for meter gauge, if the speed of the train is less than 120 kilometer per hour, then for meter gauge it is 10 centimeters, and for narrow gauge it is 7.6 centimeter.
Okay. If the value of super elevation as per calculation is coming more than the limited value, then what we'll do?
No, sir. We have to provide the limited value, and we might have to go to reduce the speed of the train. We shall impose the stationary statutory warning that the limited speed is so and so.
If I cannot reduce the speed of the train, if I don't want to wish to reduce the speed of the train, then what are the other preventive measures I can take?
So I don't know. I haven't prepared.
Fine, no issues. Can you just tell me what is egg-shaped sieve?
Sir, egg-shaped sieve is a sieve which is basically having a cross section of an egg shape, which permits it to pass even the lowest most velocity without the settlement of the settleable solids or the suspended solid, and maintains a very fair value of self-cleansing velocity. So therefore, there is no problem of clogging in egg-shaped tube.
What is drop manhole?
Drop manholes are provided at various junctions or intersection wherever it is required to conduct any inspection of the sewer lines meeting at a point. Basically, it is for the main purpose is to to see any clogging of the sewer is taking place, or the inspection purposes it is carried out. Drop manholes are provided.
The shape of the cover of the manhole.
Yes, sir.
What shape you regularly see?
I'll regularly see a circular cover, sir.
Why?
Because a circular cover, we can it's automatically prevented from falling inside. That is why. If I provide a square, if I provide a rectangular, then it might may fall in, from the shorter side. But the circular usually having the same diameter and same circumference, so it does not fall. So that is why circular, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, Amit.
Hi, sir.
So, tell me, what was your job responsibilities in your last job?
Sir, I was appointed as a site engineer. Okay. So my responsibility included the site execution work. I have to get my work in compliance with the required quality standards, and have to prepare launching girders, have to inspect the welding of the girders also, and conducting of various tests that were required, maintaining the records, and then communicating with the authorities of the railway, concerned authorities of the railway.
What were the various tests that we can conduct at site to check the welding?
Sir, dye penetration is also a test. Magnetical particle testing, that I remember for now.
What was the type of welding that you have used at site?
Sir, it depended on what portion we applied the welding. Usually, we had to fabricate plate girders. So, in order to connect the flanges and the web, we made use of fillet weld. And from end-to-end connection of different section of the girder, since the standard available length is 12 meter only, so we have to construct and build up girder. So end-to-end connection was made by butt weld.
Butt weld. So what was the technology used for welding? Was it an arc welding or
Arc
something
welding.
else?
No, sir, arc welding.
It was arc welding.
Yes.
Sure about it at site?
As far as I am remembering right now, it is.
What do you understand by MIG welding? Have you heard of MIG welding?
No. The welding department is basically fabrication department was maintained by another mechanical engineer. Okay. So I was just to inspect.
Tell me, what are the various stages involved in concrete casting of any concrete structures? What are the various stages involved? Right from the manufacturing of concrete.
Right from the manufacturing of the concrete. Sir, first of all, before starting any work, we have to take the trial pits in order to inspect if there is any presence of a sewer line or any electrical line is going, and we have to make aware the concerned department, and we have to get their own sanctions. And then we can start our foundation work. And starting...
Amit, I am asking you, you have to cast a concrete element. So what would be the various stages involved in it? How would you make the concrete? How would you cast it?
So whether it is RCC or
column
PCC?
Or beam, and any casting that you have to do at site. What would be the various stages involved? I am asking.
Sir, in the manufacturing of the concrete or casting?
Right from manufacturing to casting.
Sir, if I have to cast an RCC member over a PCC member, I shall prevent the cold joints by either, usually in the earthen dam it is sandblasting used.
I'm just asking you, what would be the process of manufacturing of concrete to casting any element, any generic
Any
element?
element,
It can be a beam or a slab or a column.
We have to provide the nominal covers which are mentioned in the drawing, and then we can place the reinforcement. Then we have to provide the formwork and the casting, and then vibration during the casting, compaction, which is
How would you make the concrete?
Sir, concrete can
What
be...
are the various processes involved in manufacturing the concrete?
Sir, do I need to explain it chemically?
Just name the process.
Sir, concreting is prepared by mixing of the aggregates initially. The mixing can be classified as wave batching or volume batching. Then mixing, and earlier the batching used to, batching is the first process. Then we go for mixing, mixing the aggregate in appropriate proportion that is mentioned in the mix design. And then we have to place the concrete. Then we have to perform the compaction, and then after finishing work, and we have to keep it for the formwork to keep it to attain certain strength that the formwork can be removed. For the stripping period.
Curing, have you heard of? What
Yes.
is curing?
Sir, curing is a process in which favorable conditions are provided in order to prevent the loss of the moisture from the body of the concrete or from the surface of the concrete to cause hydration, so that the concrete attains its strength properly.
What are the various processes through which you can cure the concrete?
Sir, curing process are, we can cover it with jute bags or wet gunny bags. We can cover. We can go for ponding by constructing an cement paste type of the levees, and we can continue at a regular interval of time spray water over the concrete member, and steam curing is also there. Infrared curing is also there, sir, in the modern methods.
Amit, I want to ask you one more thing. That while making the concrete, we have already calculated the water required to complete the reaction.
Yes, sir.
Then why do we need to add water again?
No, sir, we are not adding water in the concrete. We are actually preventing the loss of the water that is going to happen when it is exposed to the external environment due to high temperature, or maybe due to any other condition, or maybe due to build up of the vapor pressure gradient. We are just preventing the loss of the water from the concrete mass, so that the hydration completes and the concrete can attain its strength.
Amit, what is cube test?
Cube test, sir, is an indicative test where we determine the strength of the cube, and we get an indication of the actual the strength of the actual member which have casted at the site.
Okay. So what is the specimen size of the cube that is used as per IS code?
Sir, 150 by 150 by 150 mm is the cube size that we use, although cylindrical specimen is also there, and 100 mm by 100 mm 100 mm cubes are also there, but we prefer to use 150 by 150 by 150 mm cube.
Cylindrical specimen, what would be the size of it?
Sir, 150 by 150 mm is the diameter, and 300 mm is the height.
If you do cube test and if you do the testing on the cylindrical specimen for the same concrete, what would be the difference in the strength?
The strength of the cube specimen will be more as compared to that of the cylindrical specimen. That is due to a lateral restraining effect.
In which
In
specimen?
the
Cylindrical specimen? Or?
Sir, lateral restraining effect is present in both cube as well as cylindrical specimen, but it extends only up to a depth of 0.85 times of the depth of the specimen from the face of the steel plates which are connected. And in case of a cylindrical specimen, there lies an inner core which is remains unaffected by the lateral restraining effect. So therefore, the strength
So
achieved is less.
which specimen would be more accurate according to you?
Sir, I believe cylindrical specimen provides.
So why in IS code we are using the cube specimen?
Sir, basically the structure which are in actual construction we use resemble the shape of the cube, and that is why most of the structures, and cylindrical or pillars are very rarely used. So that is why, might be the reason.
Last question from my side.
Yes, sir.
What is a self-compacting concrete?
So self-compacting concrete is a concrete which is having such a workability that it gets compacted under its own weight without requiring much external compaction energy.
Where it is used?
In the pumping, usually which involves the pumping process, we have to pump the concrete to a greater elevation, and in case of underwater structures also.
How would you measure the workability of a self-compacting concrete?
Sir, there are lab tests, namely slump cone test, compaction factor test, VB test, and flow test.
For self-compacting concrete, what type of test you will do at site?
Sir, I'm not aware.
So done. You can take over.
So Amit, tell me, what is Euler's buckling load?
Sir, Euler's buckling load shall be defined as that load at which the column shall undergo uncontrolled lateral buckling within the elastic limit only before the prior the failure of the crushing of the column in the crushing element.
Okay. What are the loads that actually occurs on the pillars of a building? What type of load?
So gravity loads are that load, self weight of the pillar, as well as the imposed load, which have been transmitted.
No, I'm asking about the nature of the loads, like nature of the forces that act, in terms of the direction of the forces.
Sir, in the vertically downward direction, that is along the longitudinal axis of the pillar.
Can I say that as an axial load?
Axial load, yes sir.
Okay. And
Axial load, and also bending stresses may develop if there is an eccentricity of the applied loading. If it is
so
not truly.
all the buildings columns are there.
Yes sir.
We have a roof on the top.
Yes, sir.
That load would act on the pillars.
It is transmitted through the beam on the pillars, sir.
On the pillars. So what type of load that would be? Would that be only an axial load, or there will be bending also?
No sir, there will be bending, and that is the reason why IS 456-2000 allows us to design for minimum eccentricity.
Okay. So can concrete handle the bending load?
Sir, concrete is good in compression, but it fails in terms of tension. So we have to, although it can sustain some amount of flexural tension, which is called as a modulus of rupture, but still we have to get a higher to sustain higher bending stresses. We have to provide the reinforcement in the concrete.
Okay. So what type of reinforcements do you provide?
Longitudinal reinforcement, sir, and other is transverse reinforcement, which had different purposes in the beam as well as in the column.
So what if I don't provide reinforcement?
So cracking will occur in the column, and brittle failure shall
So
experience.
we see there are lots of very old forts, very old temples, 400 years, 500 years.
Yes, sir.
Is there any reinforcement in those pillars?
No, sir. Most of them are constructed from stone masonry either or brick masonry either.
Mm-hmm.
So I shall say, maybe I am wrong, but I shall say that the application of the load on such pillars may be such that the CG of the application of the load matches with the CG of the structural component that is going to the.
So you mean to say there will not be any bending in those structures?
I don't know, sir, how to comment about this, but no, I'm
Okay.
unaware of.
So lately we have been hearing that there is a lot of global warming that is happening, and cities are the most affected.
Yes, sir.
We don't have, like in Delhi, you see a lot of trees have been cut. So now the temperatures are going up. What can be done to reduce the temperatures of cities, or how the buildings can be designed such that we don't have so much high temperatures?
Sir, as a civil engineer, I believe it is responsible of an engineer also to foresee the effect or the consequences of the project which is being undertaken. If there is deforestation, then complementary afforestation is also required. Moreover, we should opt also for the development of the green building, which reduces its which have reduced consumption of energy that is required throughout its entire life. Thereby, we can also save electricity.
Do we have anything like where the sun rays which are coming, the building can be designed in such a way that it doesn't absorb sun rays?
It doesn't absorb sun rays.
Mostly the heating is happening because of the concrete absorbs sun rays and then in the night it radiates back. Okay, that's all.
Amit, I saw something very interesting in your DAF. Your mother tongue is Kannada.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're from Maharashtra.
Yes, ma'am.
And Maharashtra and Karnataka have a lot of issues as states, interstate issues are there.
Regarding the Belgaum district.
Please tell me 3 most important interstate issues that Maharashtra and Karnataka have.
The prime issue is, ma'am, regarding the Belgaum district. Most of the population residing in the Belgaum city speaks in Marathi language, and their mother tongue is Marathi. And while those living in the villages, they pursue Kannada language, and they also prefer education in the Kannada language itself. So there is a dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka that the Belgaum, to whom the Belgaum district should belong. And
Any other issue that you can think of?
it is actually a competitive nature, madam, because since
Okay, let me make it simpler for you. My esteemed colleague asked you about global warming. There are some changes that are happening due to global warming, due to which these 2 states are fighting amongst themselves. Can you think of any such dispute? Can you think of water dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka?
no, ma'am, currently not.
It's all right. Let's end this interview, Amit, with you telling me names of 3 female cricketers that you look up to.
Ma'am, Harleen Kaur. Harleen Kaur reminds me of Yuvraj Singh. So the aggression she has and the consistency in the performance is very admirable. And Harleen Kaur. I couldn't remember for.
It's all right. Is there anything else that you want to tell the panel?
No, ma'am, it's okay.
Thank you, Amit. Please wait outside. We'll call you back for the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you. May I come in, sir?
Come. Come.
Amit, please have a seat. Can you tell me how much marks did you get in your last interview that you took at UPSC?
No, ma'am, it's my
It's
first
written here. You've taken an interview.
No, I appeared for mains, I thought.
You appeared for mains?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And when is your interview, actual interview?
So far, no disclosure about the date. Actually, phase 1 has revealed its date, but not in the phase 2. I don't have my name in.
Okay, Amit, after thorough discussion amongst the panelists and thorough analysis of your personality,
Okay.
we have reached to this conclusion that you are potentially a very good candidate. There are high chances of your selection. However, we want to ensure that that happens. And for this, we have some constructive feedback for you, which you will need to implement, which begins with bringing some changes in, your approach towards interview. Like when you entered, I am the lady member here. You always have to wish the lady member first. Now that's the privilege women get.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay? You will not wish sirs, you will wish madam. Even if madam is not chairman, even then you will first greet lady member. That is basic courtesy. We could see that, in beginning of the interview, you were a bit nervous, which is natural. However, you have to hold it. It shouldn't come out this way that you're very nervous.
Actually, I saw you, so that's why I got nervous from the very beginning of
It's understandable. The second thing that I want to tell you is there is this rule which we call 5 seconds rule, which is whenever a panelist asks you any question, you have to take 5 seconds. Think about it and then answer. What is the hurry to answer? You don't need to jump to answer.
Do I need to take the permission from the panel that
No,
I need
no.
5 seconds?
No. You just have to be a good listener. Just let the panelists complete. Several times we saw in your interview that the question was not over, but you were ready with your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you understanding? So you just have to hold your horses a bit. Take 5 seconds and then answer. With that, you will be able to avoid some incorrect answers also, and it will bring more gravity to your answer. You will be able to think in your mind and then answer. Like with sir, it happened. He asked you some question about standard gauge.
Yes.
And that was not the correct answer. But since you were in a hurry to answer? You said, no sir, it's standard gauge, and you're very assertive about it. Take 5 seconds to think. You're not going to lose anything if you take those 5 seconds. Now about your technical knowledge, it is very good. However, we have observed that there are some moments where you're answering things which are not asked. You only have to answer what is asked. You know, the key, the most important weapon in your arsenal will be brevity, precision. जितना पूछा उतना ही बताना है, जो पूछा उतना ही बताना है.
Yes, ma'am.
3 cricketers पूछे तो उनके नाम पूछे, पूछा ही नहीं हमने कि आपको क्यों पसंद है वो.
Okay.
तो आपको उतना बताना है जितना आपसे पूछा गया है.
So do I need to keep my answer very objective type?
Yes, you have to keep your answers precise. Brevity is the key. Less words, more information. That's what you need to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to add on this. Like ma'am had asked about 10 wonders. You took one wonder and then you started explaining.
Yes, I did.
So that is not the way. First you have to tell the name of how many you know it. If there are 10 wonders in India, there are a lot of wonders which you can talk about. Civil wonders, civil marvels are there. So you have to be very, that's where the 5 seconds come. You have to think which all are there. Don't answer the first one that is there in your mind. At least grab 5 wonders and then start answering. Whichever the one you know best, that comes the first
Just like
time.
names, you don't
Exactly.
have to write what you know. You have
Exactly.
to write what is asked. You have to speak what is asked. So take a pause, understand what is asked, and then answer.
Right.
And one another feedback that I have for you is whenever you don't know a question, you just say, sorry, I haven't prepared. Or you say, maybe I'm wrong, but if you wish, I'll answer. They don't wish you to answer. It is what will fetch you marks. You see, this is a conversation between unequals. Whosoever is sitting here, their life is not at stake. This is your dream to be an officer. So you have to treat them as if they are on a pedestal. This is not a casual, candid conversation. You have to be utmost serious, utmost formal, and then you have to communicate. So I think the better way to say would be, sorry, I'm not able to recall right now. I will go back and read about it. You should use this statement instead of these statements which can land you to more trouble.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to recall. I shall go back and read about it.
Yes, it's very simple. Also, I have seen this tendency that you tend to give some lofty statements. What will you do after 10 years? I will be man of virtue. You are an engineer, such a bright candidate. I'm sure you have a plan for yourself. What will you be doing in next 10 years? But let me also tell you good things about you. You have good technical knowledge. You need to prepare some topics, but you have very good technical knowledge. Your communication skills are very good. You are making eye contact with everybody. However, with me, I saw that you were not able to make an eye contact. Don't do that with lady members. You know, make that eye contact with lady members also. Your posture is good. You are confident, and there are very high chances that we will see your name in the list. Is there anything you want to ask us?
Ma'am, regarding my birthplace, you at the end of the interview of the entire session, you asked me a question about Karnataka and Maharashtra.
Yes.
Do I need to focus on that particular area regarding Karnataka and Maharashtra state both?
You see, whenever your interview will happen, they are not going to test in-depth knowledge of general awareness. It will be on the surface. If you're reading newspaper, if you know very basic, you know there's a water dispute. Every state has water dispute. These are generic issues. But you were not able to think it on your feet because you were not taking 5 seconds. You were just jumping to answer. If you would have taken some time, I'm sure you know about it, that there is water dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka, which is in every state. You don't need to specifically dedicate your time to prepare all these things in detail. However, you have a lot of time right now because your dates have not come out. So start reading newspapers in depth. Start preparing your DAF in depth. Just mark things in your DAF.
Ma'am, I'm currently reading the Hindu on a daily basis.
Yeah.
What are the areas that I specifically need to read and should prepare the notes on?
You make an intersection of your DAF and newspaper. Whenever there is any news about Maharashtra, Karnataka, read. News about any civil engineering, read. Sustainable raw materials, read. Environment, global warming, how urbanization is impacting, read that. So you have to make intersection of your DAF and newspaper. And you have to read those things majorly. Focus on those things. Rest, I think you're well prepared. You will be able to pull through.
In civil engineering, I'll just add
Yes, sir will
Study-
tell you the specific topics that you need to work
study
on.
BMC, study railways, and you have to listen very carefully the questions. Like I asked you about, let us assume we are having standard gauge or broad gauge or narrow gauge. You did not listen to me properly. When sir has asked about BMC, initially you were very confident, yes, this is my area. But later, when he went deep inside, you started dodging.
Yes, sir. Actually, I was unable to understand the question.
Because you don't listen. And whenever you were telling about BMC, you were telling something's wrong also. The area of restraint from steel plate, right? So,
I haven't revised it so far. I shall do it in a proper way.
yes.
मैडम जब भी आप आंसर करते हो इट शुड बी ऑब्जेक्टिव. मैंने आपसे पूछा व्हाट इज क्यूब टेस्टिंग, तो आपको बोलना चाहिए था सर इट इज़ अ टेस्टिंग यूज टू स्टडी या यूज टू एनालाइज द कॉम्प्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कॉन्क्रीट. दैट्स इट. डिटेल में नहीं जाओ. आप ये समझो कि जो इंटरव्यूअर होंगे उनके नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फिक्स्ड है. ही विल आस्क यू अराउंड 5 to 7 क्वेश्चंस. अगर मैंने आपसे क्यूब टेस्ट के बारे में पूछा, आपने एक आंसर दिया, एक क्वेश्चन खत्म. अब वो फिर आपसे पूछेंगे कि भाई क्यूब के स्पेसिमेन का साइज बताओ, फिर वो पूछते जाएंगे. पर आप
ना इसको ऐसे अप्रोच करना है कि आपकी 10 मिनट की विंडो है,
हाँ.
उसमें आप कितनी ज़्यादा बॉल्स हिट कर सकते हैं. अगर आप एक ही बॉल पर बहुत देर लगा देंगे तो आप कम बॉल्स खेल पाएंगे, नेचुरली आपके रन्स कम बनेंगे. तो आपको इसको ऐसे सोचना है कि जितना ज़्यादा आप प्रिसाइज रखेंगे अपने सवाल आंसर को, उतने ज़्यादा सवाल आप ले पाएंगे, उतना ज़्यादा आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी खुद को प्रूव करने की. अगर आपने एक ही क्वेश्चन में बहुत टाइम वेस्ट कर दिया, you lose that opportunity.
I'm getting that, ma'am.
पैनल मेंबर को टाइम देना है बोलने का, आपको कम टाइम लेना है बोलने का. जब आपको विंडो दिया जाए बोलने का, उस समय जो आंसर पूछा जा रहा है ऑब्जेक्टिवली शॉर्ट एंड क्रिस्प, उतना आंसर. अगर उनको और ज़्यादा जानना होगा, ही विल अगेन आस्क यू क्वेश्चन.
Yes, sir.
मैंने पूछा व्हाट इज क्यूब टेस्ट, तो आपका भी एक लाइन में आना चाहिए था कि क्यूब टेस्ट इज यूज्ड टू स्टडी द कॉम्प्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कंक्रीट. दैट्स इट. अब मुझे और डिटेल में जानना होगा तो मैं पूछूंगा.
Yes, sir.
आपको यही ध्यान रखना है. अब आप उसी समय पूरा डिटेल में बोलते चले जाएंगे तो मेरे पास कुछ क्वेश्चन ही नहीं बचे, मैं पूछूं क्या फिर आपसे. फिर मैं किसी और एरिया पे जाऊंगा, फिर मुझे समझ में आ जाएगा कि आप बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स का वो पोर्शन तो प्रिपेयर करके आ गए, और मैं फिर क्यों पूछूंगा आपसे वो क्वेश्चन.
Yes, sir.
इसीलिए आपको ध्यान रखना ऑब्जेक्टिव आंसर. जो भी क्वेश्चन पूछे जाए ऑब्जेक्टिव आंसर.
There is one last that I would like to add, ma'am. Like, ma'am has asked you why you failed in the first attempt. That question was not at all the way it should be answered. There could be questions like this should be answered in 3 ways. Why you failed, whether you know why you failed. Second is how you prepared for that, how you overcome that difficulty. And the last one is how confident you are this time that you will succeed. कोई भी जो ऐसा क्वेश्चन होता है उसको आपको थोड़ा सा, दिस इज़ फर्स्ट टाइम, और ऐसे क्वेश्चन होंगे इंटरव्यू में 10 क्वेश्चन जो आएंगे विच यू हैव नेवर थॉट अबाउट इट, और आपको कभी नहीं आएंगे, कभी आपने नहीं प्रिपेयर किया होगा. सो यू हैव टू थिंक ऑब्जेक्टिवली कि व्हाट इज़ द थिंग दैट लेड टू दैट थिंग, मैंने उसको कैसे इम्प्रूव किया, एंड हाउ आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट नाउ. सो इट हैज़ टू बी आंसर्ड इन दैट स्ट्रक्चर.
कुछ भी सही और गलत नहीं होता
Exactly.
है. इन क्वेश्चंस में आपको ब्राउनी पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं. आप जितना कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली आंसर करेंगे, जितना आप खुद को अच्छे से जानते हैं और जितना आप खुद को अच्छे से एनालाइज कर पाए, आपने जितना मुझे इंप्रेस कर दिया उतने आपको मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे. क्योंकि ये कोई टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन तो है नहीं, जैसे सर ने क्यूब टेस्ट पूछा. अब वो ये क्यूब टेस्ट तो है नहीं कि एक ही आंसर है इसका, इसके मल्टीपल आंसर्स पॉसिबल हैं. तो इस पर ट्राई करना है कि सिक्सर मारा जाए, ऐसा जवाब दिया जाए कि सामने वाला इंप्रेस हो जाए. सो दीज विल बी द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच विल डिटरमाइन व्हाट रैंक यू गेट, हाउ मच मार्क्स you get. Are you getting me? In technical knowledge questions, all your peers will have similar assessment. या तो आता होगा या नहीं आता होगा, पर इन क्वेश्चन से पता चलेगा कि आप में ऑफिसर लाइक क्वालिटीज़ हैं या नहीं, कितने अच्छे ऑफिसर बन सकते हैं आप. सो डोंट मिस आउट ऑन दीज क्वेश्चंस. प्रिपेयर दीज क्वेश्चंस अबाउट योरसेल्फ. या आप ही के ड्राफ्ट में था कि आपने अटेम्प्ट दिया और आपका नहीं हुआ, तो आपसे पूछ लिया. आपसे अगर आपके बारे में पूछा जाए, आपको क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या स्ट्रेंथ है, क्या वीकनेस है, ये सब प्रिपेयर करके जाना है, क्योंकि ये सब पूछा जाएगा.
And have a positive attitude while answering these questions. कि मतलब थोड़ा लाउजी मत हो. इट फील्स लाइक
You're dodging it.
हाँ,
ऐसा लग रहा है आप dodge कर रहे हैं इस सवाल को.
आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है आप कर क्या रहे हो, करना क्या चाहते हो, Be very confident कि नहीं sir, I have worked on this, I will improve on this, I am here, after 10 years I will be doing this. जो भी आपका प्रोफाइल है, जो भी आपने फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस भरा है, उसका 10 साल में कहाँ पे आते हैं, दैट यू शुड नो.
एक आपने आंसर दिया था फेलियर वाला कि यू लर्न फ्रॉम योर फेलियर. मेजर फेलियर होंगे तब भी लर्न करूँगा. तो आप जिस जगह जाने वाले हो ना अभी, वहाँ फेलियर का स्कोप ही नहीं है. वहाँ माइनर फेलियर कैन कॉस्ट crores and crores of rupees as well as time and lives as well. तो फेलियर का स्कोप ही नहीं है जो आप काम करने वाले हो. कोई आपसे पूछ भी लेना आपकी वीकनेस क्या है, तो वो भी इतनी माइनर वीकनेस बतानी है ना कि
वो ऐसी वीकनेस होनी चाहिए जिससे आपको रिजेक्शन ना मिले.
कुछ नहीं.
वो करेक्ट.
आई कैन नॉट वेक अप अर्ली मॉर्निंग, है ना.
ऐसी वीकनेस ही बतानी जैसे मैम ने बोला.
आई एम नॉट गुड एट कीपिंग इन टच विद माय फ्रेंड्स. ऐसे वाली वीकनेस जो आपकी जॉब में ऑफिसर लाइक क्वालिटीज में डेट्रीमेंटल नहीं.
वीकनेस भी अच्छी होनी चाहिए आपकी जॉब के लिए, ऐसा सोचना है. बाकी एवरीथिंग वाज गुड. पिछले बार से काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट है. बट व्हाट वी फेल्ट कि जो है ना वो ज़ील नहीं दिख रहा अभी भी कि ना यू आर द परफेक्ट कैंडिडेट जो मुझे उठाना है. वो परफेक्शन नहीं आया, थोड़ा सा भी बाकी है.
आपका पोटेंशियल बहुत हाई है, उसे हार्नेस कीजिए. और ये जो आपको आज फीडबैक मिला है इस पे काम कीजिए ताकि नेक्स्ट टाइम जब आप इंटरव्यू दें ये सब रिफ्लेक्ट हो उसमें. और ये कोई बहुत बड़े चेंजेस नहीं है, बहुत छोटे छोटे चेंजेस हैं.
टाइम भी सफिशिएंट है मेरे पास.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
That day you are going to sell yourself. Sir, I am the best, select me. That's the point. So that's what you have to consider. And that is the objectivity of the interview. I am the best and nobody else is the best. That should be your thinking, not your attitude. Because they don't like attitude. They will read your thought. That's why.
Is there anything you want to ask any of us?
No ma'am, just a question regarding that Karnataka and Maharashtra dispute.
All right. Thank you so much. All the best, and we hope to see you on
So
your list.
ma'am, my score
Your score will be 120 plus.
120 plus.
Now you can make this better as you improve on the feedback that we've given you.
I'll definitely do.
We look forward to it. Thank you. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you ma'am. Thank you sir.